So I wasn't gonna talk because it's really hard. I was gonna like do a voiceover because my dog's barking and I like to listen to the TV, and then Dustin talks to me sometimes. So I wasn't gonna talk, but it's really hard not to. Oh, but it's just the makeup. I don't know what yet, so let's just see how this goes. I started with the Makeup Forever Step 1 Primer, and then I used the Makeup Forever HD Foundation, and so that's what's on my face. So usually after I do my foundation, I like to do my concealer. Trying to figure out which one I want to use. I have Urban Decay, or Tarte. This stuff's good. It's a little bit thicker. This stuff's a little less like bright under the eye, a little more natural. So I think that's what I'll do. And I'm gonna mix the two. So I just like to dot here. So now I'm just gonna take the Tarte concealer. The Tarte, fuck, I can't ever say that. The Tarte Shape Tape. Then take my dirty ass beauty blender and dab. You know the drill. And I don't mind if I get it on my eyelid because it acts as primer, even though I'm gonna use primer too. It isn't gonna hurt anything. And then dab that forehead. I don't like to go too high. You go too high up and you already have like a larger forehead. Mine's not huge, but it's big enough. If you go too high up with that highlight, it'll make your forehead look bigger. And nobody wants to look like they have a fucking 5 head.
My lighting's going away. I was using the natural sunlight. Now you guys can't see a fucking thing.
I turned my lighting on because Mother Nature, she's not cooperating. I was trying to use natural sunlight and it got cloudy. Alright, so I have my concealer on. Now what I like to do, since I do my concealer first, since I do it before I do my eyeshadow, I like to set it. So I'm going to use this Laura Mercier loose powder, translucent loose powder to set it. And I like to just really get a lot under there. It's not going to hurt anything. And it will make sure that you don't get that eyeshadow on your under eye, because we're trying not to have dark circles. That's the whole point of concealer. And if you drop eyeshadow on that under eye, you're going to look real crazy and you're going to look dark. Like your under eyes are going to look dark. Okay, I like to set my face. Then I go in with my Kat Von D powder in the shade medium. And I just like cover everywhere else with the same brush I used for my foundation. This is where I like to do my eyebrows now. The Ka-Brow in the shade 3 is what I use for my eyebrows. Has this little brush, angled brush on it. Nothing's really changed with my eyebrows. I just follow the eyebrow shape and then fill in. And I just sweep it across, just filling in. And then I leave the tip out of that. You want that to look a little, I have been known to fill that in when I'm in a hurry, and it doesn't, who cares? It still looks good. I still get compliments on them all day long. But it looks a lot better if you go vertically on there to give it like a wispy, natural look. Took me a while to get used to this stuff. I really like a pencil, and I feel like the pencil's much faster. But the pencil that I got, the Ka-Brow pencil, if you do your eyebrows every day, that thing does not last long enough to pay that much money for. This, on the other hand, is a decent size, and it has a lot of product in it. And so now I'm just going vertically. See how it has this wispy effect? Now I'm going to use my Paint Pot by MAC. This is eye primer, but it is also a really great eyebrow carver outer if you just want to go that extra mile and make those eyebrows real nice and snatched. I feel like that's the first time I've used that word. It felt very uncomfortable saying. You carve them out, so you go and clean them up. I'm just using this janky e.l.f. brush for now. It's got like a sharp, well, it did at one point. Oh yeah, it's got like a sharp edge. And my brushes are really dirty. I need to really clean them, but I barely have time to put makeup on half the time. This just really makes them look, it's a little extra you can do to make them look good. I'm going to use this concealer brush from MAC, and it's old, so I can't see the number. But it's awesome. Looks like an eyeshadow brush to me now, but whatever. And I just go and smooth and blend out any harsh lines. You don't want harsh lines, okay? So now that we have the eyebrows done, I take that same Paint Pot by MAC and prime my eye using, I'm going to use this guy. It's a flat little brush. And I'm not going to like be too clean and careful with this. I just get it kind of everywhere. I like to use my finger to smooth it out. That's why I didn't care if the brush was clean or not. You can use a brush if you'd like. And then you just take it up to that line that you know, get it under that brow bone so that there's no separation. You need that whole lid covered. And I'll go in my Tarteist Pro. Look at this pretty girl. It's my newest addition. I'm going to go in with this color. It's called Innocent, and use that as my transition. I don't really want this transition color on my actual lid. I just want it on the upper eye. So I kind of start in a circular motion on the outer end of my eye, and as I work my way in, I go back and forth in windshield wiper motions. This is my MAC brush. It's really old. Let's see. It's a 224. You want to use a bigger brush. It's really important to use the right size brushes for your eye shape. That'll help you make sure your eyeshadow's staying in the right area. And now I'm going to switch brushes to, I think this says 217. It's dirty just like the other ones. I love this color. It's called Whimsy. Tap off the excess. The less product on your brush, the better you can build it. You don't want to get too much on there because you're going to have a hard time blending if you do. Start at the outer corner of the eye. I hold the brush. You have more control, I feel like, if you hold the brush at the end, like the end of the handle. And I just want to stay in that crease area. So that's what I'm doing. And I just bring it all the way in. I want to take it all the way in. The color's so pretty. And I just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Just make sure you blend, people. Blend and use the right size brushes. Use some eye primer or some concealer for primer to help the eyeshadow really pop, and your eyes will be real cute. Real cute. I love this. I got it from Walgreens around Christmas time. It's a Profusion eyes. It's a natural, it's called Natural Eyeshadow Palette, but this thing was like $5 and it's the best thing ever. The colors blend so nicely. They're so pretty. Best thing ever for $5. I'm gonna go in that using the same brush I just did. And I think I'm going to use this color Chestnut here. Watch how beautiful this is. I'm going to go back in that crease area and go over the color Whimsy that I just used. I'm trying to stay off my lid because I want to do something on that lid, so I don't want to get any color on there, or try not to. I'm going to go into my Morphe palette. These colors are so good, I don't even know what I want to use half the time because there's so many choices. I'm going to do this green. I'm just going to go for it. For the lid, you need a flat brush. Doesn't have to be fancy. Some of my brushes are fancy and some of them are not. They're e.l.f. and Wet n Wild. I mean, who cares? I'm going to use my Prep and Prime, my Fix Plus, because it makes the color that much more pigmented. Tap off the excess. And then I just go on my lid. I start in the outer corner usually, like I do with everything else, usually. Just in case if I decide I want to like do two, I can. I have that option. Do two colors on my lid, I have that option. And I'm going to go back in the matte, or the Morphe, and use this really pretty white shimmery color for under my brow bone. I didn't spray it or anything. It's really pigmented, so it really doesn't need much. And I use this guy, believe it or not. I like to use it for under my brow, on that brow bone. And I see how good that looks? And I just sweep it. So good, so good. I'm going to take my MAC 224 and just kind of blend the two together so that, again, there's no harsh lines. Okay, now it's time to do the under eye. The waterline, the underneath the waterline. Start with Whimsy. I'm going to use this 217 MAC brush. So I just go right here where the bottom lashes are, and I kind of pull it in as far as I can to the inner corner, and then I'm going to do the other eye. Oh, I have to be careful. Boom cat. I'm going to use this brown color, Smoked. I didn't use it on my eyeshadow makeup on my upper eye, but I'm going to do it down here underneath. Now it's time to put some color in the inner corner of the eye. I'm going to do gold to give an extra pop. Now what I do when I'm done with all that is wipe that Laura Mercier setting powder off. I'm going to do mascara. I'm going to use my Buxom. I go on the top and on the bottom most of the time. Most of the time, and then I'm going to hit those. And you kind of just go swivel your little wand back and forth while you're dragging it down. So you're going back and forth and you're like dragging it down. And that's how I like to do my bottom, my lower lashes. So I'm going to do the other eye. Alright, so now I want to contour. I'm going to use my Tarteist Pro little highlight and contour thing that I got. But the favorite thing that I love using is the Shade and Light Kat Von D. And you can tell because it's almost gone. I'm going to have to buy some more. And then I take my MAC 109, I think it says. My brushes are so old. They're old and dirty. And I take these two colors. Duh, because the friggin' pot's like, you can see the pan, so you know I use those a lot. So these two colors. And I just dab, 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 dab. And then less is more, even with the contouring. Don't be trying to put too much product on there and then not be able to blend it out. And I just hit like where my ear, the upper part of my ear is, and where my bone, you can kind of press and feel where your cheek, where that bone is right there on your cheek. And I just slowly move back and forth and drag it down. Sometimes I'll make a curtsy first. Probably every single time. And then it's just like a subtle, not too much. And then I'll go to the other side. And then I'm going to hit my forehead using those same two colors, dragging it into my contour on my cheeks. Then I take my Tarte Pro that I got. And I really love this color. It's pretty. And it's called Chisel. And I dab my brush on that color, tap it off, and I go over. And this time, I use the side of my brush because I don't want to make that too thick of a line. That defeats the purpose. So if you keep going over it with color, you're just going to build it up and make it thick. So go using the side and drag it down. Follow the line you created and just drag it down. Same thing on the other side. Now blush. I use my e.l.f. blush. I don't have very many blushes, to be honest. I probably need to buy more. It's a shimmery pink color called Fuchsia Fusion. And I just hit the apples in my cheeks with that same brush, going in a circular motion. Now time for highlight. So I'm going to go back into that Tarte Pro little baby contouring thing I got. And I like to mix, I have this fan out brush that's good. And I like to use these two colors together. They're both beautiful on their own, but I'm going to tap that off. The top one's called Gleam, and the middle one is called Burst. Oh, I like those names. And then I just hit right there. See that beauty? It just brings a little extra. Extra. I'm not going to do lashes, but I'll do eyeliner. I'm just going to go in with the Profusion eyeliner. Shake it up. It's like a felt tip. Just carefully sweep that across your eye. And I draw a line. And I go on top and draw another line. And then I fill in. Oh God. So that's that. I think I'm just gonna do red lipstick. My MAC. Okay guys, I'm done. Hope that helped. Hope it helps. Hope it helped. Until next time, I need to go do my hair.